morning. Good morning sa lahat ng nakikinig at nanonood ng HLNC Facebook Live. Welcome again sa another episode. So this time, it's about free legal advice. So this will be an interesting topic for today. So before that, uulitin ko po, maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay at saka sa panonood at pagtangkilik sa amin. We would like to take this opportunity din. Humihingi po kami ng pasensya sa lahat ng nagbe-message sa amin through Facebook because to be honest with you, we have a lot of messages every day. You all know that all the messages coming from other part of the world, from Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar. So, may time difference po tayo. So, even 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, we receive a lot of inquiries. So, again, pasensya na po kayo kung nade-delay ang aming answers sa inyong mga question. But, nevertheless, we will try to answer all your questions and para makapag-apply po sa aming, or malaman nyo yung about aming company. Lastly, for those na nagko-comment, no, mas maigi po na para mas mapabilis ang transaction natin, kindly just message your full name, your location, so that we can able to know kung ano yung dapat, or exactly kung ano na talaga yung itatanong nyo, so we can able to answer it right away. So, before we start, sorry, sabi ko nga sa inyo, we gonna talk about the legal advice here in Hong Kong for the domestic helper. So, we all know that the foreign domestic helper here in Hong Kong have, number one, a employment contract o tinatawag nating ID 407. Okay? This employment contract, pwede natin siya makuha if you're here in Hong Kong in immigration. Kung ikaw naman ay nasa Philippines or under agency, you can able or ibibigay nila sa iyo yun. So this contract is very, employment contract is very important for us. Especially tayo mga nagtatrabaho kasi lahat ng karapatan o lahat ng information about staying and working here in Hong Kong will be there in the contract. So ano ba yung ID 407E or yung kontrata na sinasabi ko? This will be the employment contract of the Filipino domestic helper or the foreign domestic helper. So this one is page 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this 4 page also have 4 copies. So para saan tong 4 copies na ito? 1 is for you. So definitely sa mga walang copy ng kanyang mga kontrata, maaari nyong hingiin sa agency nyo or you can ask your employer about it. Supposedly or dapat talaga meron kayong copy of your own contract. For you, for employer, for immigration, yes, the immigration have a copy of your contract. And lastly is for the Philippine consulate. So the consulate also have a copy of it. So there you go. What else? You're not only be safe about the contract or the employment contract. Meron din tayong binibigay o meron din na ibinibigay ang ating mga supposedly the agency should be given a flyers or a foreign domestic, we call it here, informasyon sa dayuhang kasabahay or information about foreign domestic helper. What includes of this? So we, the HLNC, during the signing of the contract, and if the helper signed an employer, we give this leaflet. So what includes here? All your karapatan. Lahat yan nandito. Okay? So we have a lot, hindi natin to maiisa-isa o matatakal lahat. But the most important here is this booklet. This booklet is your guide to know what is your rights and what are the legal and illegal na ginagawa natin. Or hindi natin alam na illegal na pala siya. So if you have time, go to your agency and ask about this. Okay? So, like what I've said, if you have already here in Hong Kong and you've signed already a employment contract and you just early signed for a new employer. If you don't have like that, you can able to go to immigration, or you can you can go to your agency and ask for this. Or if you do it on your own, you can able to go to labor department. You can ask for the flyers or the booklet about the rights of, or information about the foreign domestic helper. Okay, so next is in order to know about the rights and the benefits here in Hong Kong, you can read all the things. And if you have a lot of questions regarding on your position here in Hong Kong, kung meron kayong problema, meron kayong mga hindi maintindihan na nangyayari sa inyo under the employment, number one, you can ask, number one, Philippine Consulate. Number two, you can also seek for advice for non-government organization here in Hong Kong. Number three is the Labor Department. So if you have pens right now, I can able to give you some of the contact hotline here in Hong Kong. For the Hong Kong Police, you can dial 999. For Hong Kong Labor Department, take note, 2717-1771. Again, Hong Kong Labor Department is 2717-1771. For Hong Kong Immigration Department, if you have any question or concern, that will be 2824-6111. Again, 2824-6111. So, kung hindi nyo nakuha, all you have to do is to finish this episode and then just replay the button and you can able to get the numbers. Okay? So, for the Philippine Consulate, this is the most important, no? Sila ang ating masasandalan. Kaya kung kayo ay nagkaroon ng problema sa employer, especially sa agency nyo, you can able go to Consulate. I telling you 100%, they are very reliable and they can able to help you 100%. Okay? So, for the Philippine Consulate, their cell phone number or landline number is 2823-8501. Again, 2823-8501. You can also email them at hongkongpcg@philcongen-hk. Again, email address will be hongkongpcg@philcongen-hk. For emergency numbers during the holiday, no, pagsarado ang ating Philippine Consulate, and also after 6 p.m. you can able to reach 9155-4023. Again, 9155-4023. And for the Consulate for the Labor, this will be 6080-8323. Okay, this is for the Consulate under the Labor will be 6080-8323. Or for the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, you can call 63459324. Again, 63459324. So before we start our topic about free legal advices, I would like to check how many are there in our Facebook Live. Okay, just give me a moment, okay? So, let's check it out. Ilan na ang nasa ating Facebook Live. Okay. There you go. So, hayan, ma'am. Nandito po ako sa... we will answer all your question later po, no? But, ngayon, makinig muna kayo. Again, uulitin ko, this topic is very, very important. Hindi lang sa mga nandito sa Hong Kong, especially doon sa mga gustong mag-apply sa Hong Kong. So again, napag-usapan na natin about the insurance. So dito naman mas malawak or mas malalim ang pag-uusapan natin. So please stay tuned so you can able to learn and know, and you can able to share this para sa mga friends yun na nandyan or nanonood, at walang ginagawa, they can able to watch this video. Okay? So, as a foreign domestic helper in Hong Kong, especially the newcomers, they are not aware of the law and ordinances in Hong Kong. We have a very special guest for this month of June. So, this is Sir Danny, or our lawyer, Danny Tam, will share her expertise and the laws and ordinances here in Hong Kong. So please welcome Mr. Danny Tam. Hi, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, kindly say hi to our viewers right now.
Hello. It's an honor and my pleasure to have the opportunity of speaking to you today.
Yes, actually, before that, we actually exchanged some conversation and topics. You know what? Please really stay tuned because you will learn a lot of things about this person. So, Sir Danny, let's discuss first what we often heard about the ordinances. Okay. Okay. So, sorry. The first question is, as a foreign domestic helpers, are they protected at the same way that Hong Kong resident like us?
Yes, I can confirm that. And generally speaking, foreign domestic helpers are equally protected as a Hong Kong citizens in Hong Kong. Okay. By way of examples, if you are injured in a traffic accident, then you will be entitled to recover compensation and damages from the negligent or careless driver. If you received injuries during your work in the course of your employment with your employer, then you can also recover compensation and damages from your employer or his or her insurance company. Okay, there are two levels of compensation and damages for this type of injuries, and I will come back to that,
yes,
if possible. Okay, next time.
So again, if you have a lot of questions regarding on the legality here in Hong Kong, please compile it all, because again, this is a very broad discussion. Maraming dapat i-tackle about. So please compile it all, but we will try to answer all. Some of we can able to, for this time, no, yung pwede nating mapagkasyang oras. So aside from that, so again, di ba, sabi nga ni what even ako, we the staff here in HLNC are resident, or some have a professional visa. So even you are resident, Filipino resident here in Hong Kong, or even you are foreign domestic helper, uulitin ko, pantay-pantay lang po tayo ng karapatan. What is the difference between the resident and the foreign domestic helper in law, sir?
Not much difference. There are only two differences. The first one is that being a foreign domestic helper, you cannot apply for permanent residency in Hong Kong. That is the one major difference. Second difference is that the terms of your employment will be governed by a standard contract, whilst other Hong Kong citizens can freely negotiate the terms of their employment with any employee in Hong Kong. So those are the two major differences. But I can assure you that your life and property is equally protected as any other Hong Kong citizens in Hong Kong. You can always make a report to the police and bring the wrongdoers to the court if your life or property are at risk. Okay, so like we've said, we have just the same rights as Hong Kong residents. So even you are foreign domestic helper. So what are the two major exception will be? You cannot be permanent residency. FYI for those, what do you mean by that? Because for the Filipino or have an employment visa or professional visa, or for those resident or dependents, after 7 years of staying here in Hong Kong, you can able to apply for permanent residency, meaning even you lose your job, or your partner or your husband lose a job, or your wife lose a job, they cannot able to let you go back to your country. You can stay here, you can have the benefits of all the local residents as you, because again, you are already permanent resident. So yun yung mga advantage lang ng pagkakaiba ng foreign domestic helper na visa and under the employment visa / or we call it professional or dependent visa. But nevertheless, almost the same for the protection, legality wise. So kung may nakikita kang illegal na ginagawa, you can able to tell them, you can report it to any police station. So walang problema about it. So no problem about it. Okay? So we often heard some ordinances. Can you give some brief explanation, sir? Only a sample. always heard about the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance. So what do you mean by that, sir?
Okay, I think this is a very complex
Yes.
topic which deserves another section. Okay.
Okay.
But by way of a very brief introduction, okay, the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance is about the protection and of personal data. Okay, in regarding its collection and the transfer of those data
To other parties. Yes.
to other parties. Okay.
So, what do you mean by that? Actually, personal data privacy is example na lang. Papasimplehin natin ha. You got in an interview and then your new employer or yung prospect employer mo would like to call or to talk your existing one. So, hindi basta-basta nagbibigay ng numbers. You need to ask first your employer if that's okay to give the numbers and some information for your new or for your prospect employers, because again, dun pa lang may you don't know but meron kang nilalabag na batas na hindi pwede basta-basta tayo nagbibigay ng any information in any third party, even though it's for reference check, for recommendation check, hindi po. Okay, so even you post it in online, kung sabihin na natin may kaya o may mayaman ang iyong employer, they can able to sue you because may nalabag kang batas nga about it or ordinance. So how about, sir, the sex discrimination ordinance?
Okay, the law prohibits sex discrimination against women or men alike. Okay, of course there will be punishment for sexual harassment or discrimination. Okay.
This is a big, very broad topic about, but we just want to share it to you that also we have this kind of ordinance here in Hong Kong, the sex discrimination ordinance. But then again, it's very broad, so we will have a lot of maybe another month or another day that we can able to have a Facebook Live. Iisa-isahin po natin lahat ito. How about, sir, for the disability discrimination ordinance?
Okay, it's about disability. Your employer cannot give you different treatment because you are disabled. That basically it is. So for the family status discrimination ordinance? Similarly, the employer cannot give you different treatment because of your family status. By way of an example, if you have to take intensive care for your immediate family member, then your employer should try to accommodate you, okay, but not giving you different treatment because of your difficulties.
So let's say we can able to say that, example, you got terminated because your employer knows that you are being separated by your husband, or you're being single mom raising your kids, so you cannot able to terminate because of that thing or because of that reason. You are protected by family status discrimination ordinance. How about for the race discrimination ordinance?
This means that no one can give you different treatment because of your race. For example, if your employer is hiring two foreign domestic helpers, one is Indonesian, one is
Filipino.
Yes. They cannot give you different treatment because of your race.
Okay. So it's like just to be short, employer should not be a racist. Okay, we experience a lot maybe in other countries. You might experience that one, but here in Hong Kong, at least there's an ordinances that no racism would be filled or can able to be implemented here in Hong Kong. So as much as possible, wala pong ganun sa atin or dito sa Hong Kong. So sir, maybe we will move forward for much interesting happen that the employer or the helpers might experience. So what happened if a foreign domestic helper arrested by police officer? Do they get deported immediately or they imprisoned? Could you give me some example that can they able to expect if a foreign domestic helper was arrested?
Okay, it must be a very terrifying experience
Yes,
when you
actually
get arrested by the police. Okay, After the arrest, usually the police will take time to do investigation. Okay.
So arrested and then immediately go to any nearest police station?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they will usually bring you to a police station and then they will interview you. Okay.
During the interview, sir, what if the helper cannot able to express themselves on English? Is that possible? That are they given any translator or something like that?
Okay. Upon being arrested, actually a person, any person, whether he or she is a helper or a Hong Kong citizen, will be notified about their rights. Okay. They have the rights to contact their lawyer, consulate, or friends or family. Okay, before speaking to the police. And any criminal suspect has the right to remain silent. Remain silent. This is very, very important because in Hong Kong, in our legal system, everyone is presumed to be innocent.
Yes.
Until the guilt
Proven
is
guilty.
proved.
Yes.
Okay, and the burden of proof is not on the suspect. The burden of proof is on the government. Is on the police. The police has the responsibility to prove you are guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, so if you are unfortunately arrested,
yes,
you will certainly hear the police say these few words to you. Okay, they will caution you by saying that you are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say will be put into writing and may be given in evidence. Okay, when you hear those words, please remember to remain silent.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're not sure about your words,
legal position. Okay, and wait for legal assistance before speaking further with the police.
So just like in the Philippines, diba, sinasabi natin na may karapatan kang manahimik at whatever na words against you can be used against you. So for those na arrested, either foreign domestic helper or any resident here in Hong Kong, no, please just remain silent. And then there's an interview portion during the when get arrested, sir. So meaning they will ask you.
They will ask you
questions.
You can say I am innocent, and then I choose to remain silent because this is my rights under the law.
Okay. So if the police didn't get any answer, so what is the next step? Are they gonna give you a legal aid, or what's the next step about it?
Okay. Usually they will give you a notice setting out your rights when you are under arrest. Okay. I have a specimen form here with me, and perhaps later you may post it up the link,
sir.
the website
sure.
link on the.
Maybe we can post it. Carl, can you edit it? We will post it and then do like this.
Yes. Okay. The notice will tell you what are your rights. Okay. You have the right to contact lawyers, your immediate family members, or something like that. Okay. And of particular interest is paragraph 5 of the notice, okay, which says that if you are a foreign national in Hong Kong, you are entitled to receive visits from or to communicate in private with representatives from the consulate or the relevant authority of your home country.
So meaning they will let you call Philippine consulate, or if you have agency in Hong Kong, you can able to call the agency. And the third one is your family members.
Yes. And you can also contact a lawyer whom arranged for you.
If you have a private lawyer or can afford, or do you know someone, a lawyer, or if you know certain something like that. Okay, so sir, after that, if they got arrested, are they able to bail, or do they need to stay overnight in the police station?
Okay. When the police arrest you, they have to tell you the reason for the arrest. Okay.
So maybe example is qualified theft, or
alleged theft.
Yeah, theft or theft, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, I'm the
About
police.
20 Hong Kong dollar.
Yes. the police will tell you, say, madam, I'm now arresting you because it is suspected that you have committed an offense of theft during your employment in the house of your employer, something like that.
Okay. And then you go to the police station, and then of course you already called the consulate, and then are they giving you okay, you can able to bail, or is that can able to bail, or immediately you need to stay for overnight?
It depends on the seriousness of the offense. Okay, if that is only a minor offense, minor crime, then they will usually allow you to go on bail. Okay,
but if it is very serious,
they won't allow you to go
and
on
then
bail.
so when you got like you stay, example is overnight, so they because in Philippines you are not allowed to have a cell phone, they get all the things, some also like that, sir. So they also get all your belongings and keep it.
Usually after your arrest, if they don't allow you to get bailed out, then the police have to decide pretty quickly whether to formally charge you or not, formally to bring you to court or not. Okay. If they are not bringing you to court within a certain period, if I remember correctly, is 48 hours, then they must release you from the police station. If they made up their mind during those 48 hours, then they will bring you to court. To appear in court.
48 hours. So that will be
the maximum
1.5
period
days.
that they may hold you in custody.
Only 48 hours.
Only
so
that.
either they let you out, or
They
you
bring
bring
you
you
to
to the court.
to formally charge you.
Oh, I understand. So if the domestic helper is arrested, who will be able to help them?
Okay, if you get formally charged, then
Yes,
you
formally
can,
charged already.
Then you can apply for free legal advice from the Duty Lawyer Service. If you charge a magistracy, juvenile courts or coroner's court, and for higher levels of courts, you may apply for free legal aid service.
So just in case, sir, that already in the court, so it is ongoing, have a formally charge, what do you call that, on you, have a formal charges on you. So if and only if, how long it will take about the one that you applied for a legal or for an aid for lawyer, because of course a lot of foreign domestic helper cannot able to have a lawyer unless they have a very supportive agency that can give them a free lawyer. So if that's the case, what will happen?
Okay, I can only say everyone has a right to justice in Hong Kong, including foreign domestic helpers.
Yes.
Okay, and if the court knows that you are applying for some free legal service, then it will usually allow time for you to prepare your case before they formally hear evidence and adjudicate on the matter.
But for sure, you can able to get a free attorney or a free lawyer here in Hong Kong.
If your financial means.
Oh, I see. If you are qualified,
yes.
if you're qualified means that you are really it proven that you don't have any capacity to pay
by yourself.
by yourself. Okay. And lastly, sir, just in case already proven guilty, of course we are a foreign domestic helper. Are we like charged to be stay or to be imprisoned for the whole year, or for example, you've been given about 2 years imprisonment? Do foreign domestic helper have the same like that? Example, given a case like a theft of 20,000 Hong Kong dollar, proven guilty. So what is the next step? Like, are gonna be detained in prison for 20 years or 10 years, something like that?
Oh, I think you will probably be detained for that kind of offense, but you will again appear in court to make a plea of mitigation. We say mitigation.
Okay.
You can tell the court about your personal circumstances, the family circumstances, and the reason behind why you committed this sort of offense, and to ask for leniency from the court. Okay, if you can show remorsefulness, you regret very much for committing that kind of offense, then the court will take into account whether you are a first offender, whether you have a clear conviction record before passing the sentence. And sometimes the court will even collect a probation report from social workers before passing a sentence on you. Okay.
Because
So,
sir, I heard, I'm not quite sure about this, because if I'm not mistaken, I heard that the foreign domestic helper can able to be detained for 3 months, and then after 3 months deportation, and they cannot able to come here in Hong Kong
yeah, they may be deported afterwards.
afterward. So can able to be 6 months, more than 6 months, about a year. It depends on the judge that can able to.
It depends on the sums of money involved in the fact.
Yes.
Okay. But if you are talking about, say,
That
$20,000,
20,000 Hong Kong dollar.
I think it may be a few months, a few weeks, perhaps, something like that.
Okay. It depends on how big did you do. Of course, if it is murder, that's quite different.
Depends on the degree of
The
the
degree
offense,
of the offense.
seriousness of the
the
offense,
yeah.
and whether you have, after committing that crime, say, if you have returned all the money to your employer, okay, that is also one of the mitigating grounds.
So if you
For reducing your sentence.
you give back all the money that you stole.
Yeah.
Okay. So, example, found not guilty. 20,000 found not guilty. So what can able to happen? Is there any, because of course this one lose their job, got terminated because of the accused. Third is example, what else? Of course they don't have any money for 6 months, or let's say 6 months on trial. Do they have something like to give? If not found guilty, sir, sorry.
If not found guilty, then I have first to congratulate you. But you seldom will get any compensation.
No
or
compensation,
cost,
yeah, something like none.
Or cost from that no guilty outcome
Yes,
of the
okay.
criminal trial.
So what happened is just you found not guilty, that's it.
Yes.
Okay. So for, maybe we can talk about, sir, that's about the police case and something. Now we're gonna talk about if already in the standard, regarding on the standard employment contract. So we're gonna talk about what if, example, the helpers already arrived in Hong Kong and already arrived in their employer's house, and whatever stated here in the contract, which is this one, and went back, go to the employer's house, very different, a big difference. So sorry. Okay, hold on. Okay, so for that the actual situation is quite different. So what is the legally can helper do?
I think that amounts to a breach of contract.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because by way of an example, if the employment contract states that there are 2 adults and 2 children.
Yeah, example. In the contract only, there's no kids, there's no minor or
no dog,
no dogs,
car.
but actual thing in the employer's house have 2 dogs, have 2 children, and then suddenly 4 adults. So what they can able to do about it?
Okay, the first starting point is to read carefully your contract of employment.
Just to make sure.
Yes, and then actually it is expressly provided in your contract that those duties cannot be varied. Okay, unilaterally by the employer. Okay, if you may make reference to clause 15 of the standard contract.
Clause 15. Let's take a look at it. So for those who are here in Hong Kong, check it out. Clause 15.
Clause 15. Okay.
This one, sir. Save the
following. Variation is not allowed. Okay.
Okay. Or addition to the terms of this contract, including, okay, during its duration should be void unless made within the prior consent of the Commissioner for Labor. So meaning, if this ones are...
So it means that if you are given duties different from those stated in your contract, that is a variation, okay, which shall be void in law, okay, with reference to this clause 15.
Okay.
So in practical terms, you may then seek help from first the agency to clarify the situation with the employer, and that and you may seek help from the labor department as well. Okay, unless they have your consent, you can refuse to carry out those additional duties because they are void according to clause 15 of that contract.
Yes. So if that's the case, you can able to talk to the agency, and if the agency do not do about it, that's the only time you can able to go to the labor.
Yeah, go to
And
the
then,
labor.
of course, they should. Do they have like strong evidences that really this is the persons that live in this house, but this is in the contract? Because it might. I'm just thinking that it might be very difficult for those helpers that they will come to the labor and then complain this is different, this is the actual and then maybe it's better to have an evidences.
Yes, but the only evidence I think will be coming for you yourself, because you are the one who is working in that household, okay? And we call this a question of fact in law, okay? Person A is saying something, person B is saying something otherwise, okay? And if the case is brought to court, then the judge has to hear evidence from A and B, and then come up with a decision. Okay, so try your best to give an accurate account of what's happening in your employment, and I think people will help you out.
So make a have a good agency, just like HLNC. Okay, so for
to get your consent, they have to get your agreement. Okay, if you do not agree, then they cannot.
Is that should be a formal letter agreement, or is it a verbal that you would like to come with me, yes or no?
A verbal agreement will do.
Will do, okay.
But of course, if you refuse to go out of Hong Kong, then I would advise you to put it in writing. Okay. Send a note to your employer. Okay.
That I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I do not want to go. I'm only here to carry out domestic duties. Okay. And with a copy to your agency. Okay.
Yes.
So somebody
This
will
will
know
help you,
about the incident. Okay. And to give evidence or testify on your behalf when it becomes necessary.
Yes.
So it is
I think this
always-
is also your protection as a domestic helper, just in case the reason will be termination, or that will be illegal termination, because you are not. Example, the employer stated that you got terminated because of this and this, and you can have a proven white and black copy that this is the reason why.
Yes.
And for some evidence that need to go in court, maybe you have that. That will be
At least you have a piece of paper to support you.
Yes, I understand. So how about if the helper got sick and she went to the doctor by herself, since the employer was out of Hong Kong, or maybe in the office, cannot be reached, and even not replying for the messages. Once the employer came back to Hong Kong or came back to the house, the employer refused to pay back the medical expenses, such as the helper's medicine, the confinement, or the clinic, the doctor's fee. Is this legal, or what the helper can able to do about it?
According to clause 9 of the standard contract.
Okay, clause 9, in
Clause
the
9.
event of the helper is ill or suffers for personal injury during the period of employment, except the period during the helper leaves Hong Kong, okay, on volition and his or own personal purpose, the employer shall provide free medical treatment to the helper, or free medical treatment includes medical consultation, maintenance, hospital and emergency, and dental treatment.
Yeah, so basically it means that helpers are entitled to free medical expenses, including medical consultation, maintenance in hospital, and emergency dental treatment. Okay. In your scenario, I would advise the helper to keep a good record of the messages exchanged between herself and the employer. Okay, and and then keep a good record of all the medical certificates and the medical expenses receipts as well. Okay. So if the employer ultimately refuses to pay, then the helper can make a complaint to the labor department with reference to clause 9 of that contract. Okay. And in extreme cases, the labor department will assist you to bring the case to court, which is known as labor tribunal in Hong Kong.
So I think the bottom line is here, whatever you do, you just make to have a black and white copy. So whatever you go, whatever happened to you, you have a proof that, hey, this is what happened. I have all the proof.
Yes.
Right, sir? And
the doctor is saying that I am ill and sick.
Yes.
Okay, he issued to me a
and this
certificate.
one, and this all
I incur so much money, so please pay me according to my contract.
Yes, I understand. So maybe we go to another topic. This is just a worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Example, this you have a kid, have a child, and this child of the employer stole the money or an items and then put it in the helper's bag or pocket, and while they're taking and walking out of the store, the sensory alarm went off, and upon checking of the store personnel, of course the stolen item is in the helper's side, but in somehow a helper's bag. Or maybe it's about the example, the kid is just being naughty, didn't know the the seriousness of what they did. So what is the probably happened to that helper if that's the case?
This is really difficult and really horrifying.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And if I were the helper, the first thing I would do is to ask whether the store has a CCTV system. Yes.
Definitely.
And I will ask them to review the video footage to prove my innocence. Okay.
Okay.
If unfortunately they
There's
do
no
not have a
CCTV
CCTV
camera.
camera, then you have to try your best to explain yourself, okay, that you have not committed any crime, or there is no reason for you to take such an object into your bag or your pocket, okay, and always be careful, okay, about kids or any other parties in the store, okay, you don't know, okay, take good care of your pocket, your bag, your own belongings, to avoid any unnecessary misunderstandings, okay.
Okay, so hopefully there's a CCTV camera that can prevent, because it's against your words and of course what they actually see on you, right? So if the friends use legal documents, if your friends, example, I have a friend that very close to mine, and then I don't know that accidentally she made a copy or she stole my identity card, passport, contracts, and Hong Kong ID, and then submitted to a public finance to be a guarantor without any knowledge. What are the legal action I can able to do? Can I able to sue my friend who used that legal documents of mine?
Okay, you may sue your friend, but the best advice probably is that you should keep your personal data and your legal documents in your own safe custody, okay? Do not pass on your data and your legal documents, even copies, to other parties, even he or she is your friend, okay? So that is why we have the Protection of Privacy Data Ordinance in Hong Kong, because bad people may use your data to do a lot of things, like borrowing money from finance lenders or the loan sharks. We call them loan sharks in Hong Kong. So please keep them safe with you. Okay?
If that happened, example,
if that actually happened, then I think you should send a letter to that finance company saying that you have never agreed for the use of those documents in support of any loans application.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you should try to get those documents back from
Okay.
that finance company.
And what if the principal or your friend who is the principal who leave Hong Kong, go back to Philippines, and then of course you are the guarantor and the loan shark keeps calling you?
Then you may make a report to the police
Oh,
saying
really?
that you are harassed
Oh, okay.
by somebody in
Mhm.
Hong Kong.
Okay.
And they will
So they
open
don't
a
have the
file.
rights to do that to you, even you are a
No,
guarantor.
they don't have the right to do that to you. They will open a file for you,
Mhm.
and if anything happen afterwards, then the police can always make reference to that file and to take
Oh.
action against those people.
Wow, very interesting. So for those who have experienced that, because we all know that a lot of Filipinos, maybe 30% of the Filipinos suffering like that. So at least they have the idea that they can able to go to any police station,
Yeah.
file a complaint about this lender or a loan shark that getting harassed, and then everything will be okay. So don't be afraid.
But to avoid all these unhappy incidents, okay,
Don't make
give
your-
your data
Yes.
to anyone else.
Yes.
Because when you go to the police station, the police might
Mhm.
suspect that, oh, you two must have colluded together or conspired together.
Yeah.
Okay, person A to get along and person B pretend to be innocent.
Isn't it?
Okay, and getting themselves out of trouble altogether with the assistance of the police. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, that might be something they are thinking of when you.
But example,
try to
sir,
help.
like they said, oh, they filed it maybe yesterday, and then I found it that they used my data, all my documents. So automatically I'll go to the police station, and then I can able to have a what they call that, a complaint
Yeah.
that yesterday my friends told this and something like that,
Yeah.
so that we can avoid those future problems
Yeah.
about the loan sharks.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can make a report.
Report
And the
immediately.
police will write it down.
Mhm.
This amounts to theft. If they steal something from you,
Yes.
okay, this is theft in law.
Even it's not a watch, even it's not valuables like a diamond ring or something.
Your passport is your property.
Yes,
Your
so that
Hong Kong
means that-
ID card is your property.
So can have a qualified theft. See, we have a lot of things to learn here. So for another question, sir, if the employer claimed that, example, already in the house of the employer start working, and then accidentally broke something or broke things, and then the employer said you need to pay, and it cost $1,000, and the employers and the helper said he really did do it. So what is can able to happen, something like that?
Again, this is very difficult because
Yes.
this is obviously another question of fact. Okay, person
Okay.
A say something,
Person
person
B
B say
says
something otherwise.
Mhm.
Okay, so please try your best to explain yourself
Mhm.
about
But
the incident.
but in case that really the employer really state that no, you need to pay. How much is the maximum amount that
The maximum amount is only $300
$300 per
to
item,
be deducted from your monthly salary.
monthly salary?
Yeah.
So meaning, example, that you're so careless or whatsoever reason, you damage 5 plates. So that means for that plate, 5 plates, even it costs $1,000, it only 300 per month.
Yes. Only 300.
Mhm.
But
For
of
what?
course, you should get worried about your long-term prospect.
Yes.
Continuing your employment
Yeah.
with your employer.
Yeah, I
okay?
understand.
But in law,
Uh-huh.
you are only
Okay.
liable for $300. Okay?
But it doesn't mean that you will do that, alright? Because it may cause your termination.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just talking about, at least we know what are legal or what is not illegal, okay? So, again, for those, is the maximum is at least 300. So what if they deducted $1,000? So what is the next
That is
step?
illegal, and
Yes.
you can make a complaint to the
To
labor
labor.
department
Okay.
and to get your unpaid wages from your employer.
Yes. Okay. So the next is, what if a committed simple crime like jaywalking or littering, spitting, and you got caught? So what is the next step?
Okay.
Actually, this is not only for foreign domestic helper. Even me, what if I got, jailwalking, caught jailwalking, what I can able to do?
Okay. My short answer is again, it depends. Okay.
Okay.
Because minor can become major or serious. Okay. Say for example, jaywalking.
Yeah.
If you are jaywalking on your holiday, then it is just a minor crime, and seldom will an employer terminate your contract because of your jaywalking.
Yes.
But if you are taking your employer's kids to school and
That
you're
will be different.
jaywalking with those kids, then that might become very serious.
Yes.
And in law, your employer may terminate your contract without any notice or payment.
Oh.
Okay. That is called summary dismissal under the employment ordinance in Hong Kong, because that may, I shall not say will, that may constitute serious misconduct.
Yes.
Okay.
So if that's the case, you cannot go to the labor and complain that my employer terminated me immediately and did not give anything. You cannot complain about
You
that
cannot
because
complain.
of what you did.
Yes, because of that serious misconduct. So be careful when you are carrying out your duties. Okay.
But
When you are on holiday, if you jaywalk,
Jaywalking, yeah.
litter, speed, okay, those are minor things.
Yeah.
But
what-
imagine if you spit into the food of your employer
Oh,
for
that's
their
very-
consumption,
that's
then
very
it will
quite-
become serious misconduct.
Misconduct,
Okay,
yeah.
which
But-
may lead to termination.
But example, you're smoking or something and you dropped it and then the police officer got you. Is that a police officer? Is that a ticket or what? Is that a seminar?
Usually you will get a ticket for
And,
payment of a sum of fine.
but no need to go to a police station.
No need.
Only a ticket.
Yes.
Like an offense, first offense, you need to pay this one.
Yes.
All right. So
I
Be
always,
careful.
I always commit minor offense, speeding.
all right.
So don't get overly
Yes.
worried.
Okay. So, what if the foreign domestic helper's passport kept by the employer?
Okay,
What they can able to do?
okay, actually it is not proper for an employer
Yes.
to keep a helper's passport.
Mhm.
Okay, because as I have mentioned earlier, a passport is the holder's personal property. Okay, if your employer has such a request, then I would advise you to first ask her to communicate with the agency, and the agency will assist to explain the legal situation to him or her. And if he or she insists to keep your passport, then you may make a complaint to the immigration department.
Immigration department.
Or the
Okay,
labor
not the
department.
labor department.
I think both departments will come into assistance.
Okay. So after that, they will go there, and then after that, they can file a letter stating that their documents was kept by their employer.
Yeah.
What if the example, they already talked to the agency, they already talked to the employer, and the employer is just one reason is they're scared that you might fly and get all my things or kidnap my kid, kidnap my newborn. So that's a reason why I want to keep your passport. But the passport is in my cabinet. I didn't bring it, so if in case of emergency, you can able to have it.
Okay.
Is that a valid reason or not?
No, that is still not a valid reason for keeping your passport. Okay, because there are laws in Hong Kong.
Okay. So
Kidnapping
under the law,
someone is
yeah.
an offense.
Okay.
Taking away all properties from others is an offense. You don't need a passport to protect you from those
Yes.
offenses.
Okay, I understand, sir.
That is quite unreasonable and
Yes.
illogical.
So then again, even though that's the reason of your employer, that will not be legal. Okay, so for those experiencing that, so you can able to go to labor, or you can go to your agency, or you can go to immigration department. Do you know, sir, any idea where exactly they will go to immigration?
I think you first
What
call
department?
your Labor Department hotline first, 24-hour hotline, the numbers you have given to them.
Okay.
27171771.
So again, for those, I know a lot of, or quite Filipino domestic helper experience that. Oh, not only the Filipino, also other, let's say, Indonesian helpers.
So again, they can able to go to Labor Department. They have a 24 hours hotline, which is 2717-1771. Okay, or you can able to approach the branch of the Labor Relation Division for assistance. Again, Labor Relation Division of the Labor. So there, I know that we learned a lot from Sir Danny. I really learned a lot. It's very, you know, an open mind. It's like nakakapagbukas ng ating kaisipan at kalinawan. It makes us, our mind, to be clear what is right and what is wrong here in Hong Kong. Then again, ito lang ang masasabi ko. Working here in Hong Kong is very safe, and you know that you are protected compared to other country, especially in Middle East. So for those who want to apply here in Hong Kong, we will tackle about that. But then again, Sir Danny, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you here. So kung meron pa kayong katanungan kay Sir Danny, we will have a lot of please comment down below. I promise you that this is not the first time. This is not the part 1. We already talked by Sir Danny, so we have a part 2. Mas malalim, mas maiintindihan natin yung mga of course not too sensitive, but then again we will try to have a situation and then we can able to answer, especially yung mga yung ordinances, the 5 ordinances that I tackled. He just gave us a briefly about these things, but then ayan, so pag-uusapan natin yan. So thank you very much. Sa mga nagtatanong po, ako pa rin sa Hurley, nagpagupit lang po ako. So, yon, thank you very much for your time. Maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay sa H&C. So, magkita-kita po ulit tayo next month, July. Abangan ulit ang ating Facebook Live. Maraming salamat po. And lastly, for those who are asking for the next scheduled interview, mag-message lang po sa atin ng name, age, and location. Maraming salamat po. See you! Bye-bye!